When you look at trade and investment flows between the EU and the US, the two largest economic blocs in the world, there's already a lot happening. But what we also see is that there are still quite a few barriers in the trade, whether these are tariffs or whether these are differing standards or whether these are non-recognition of the same safety procedures, for example. And this costs a lot of paperwork for our small and medium-sized enterprises, for our businesses, and eventually it slows down growth and profits. So that's one reason to look at how we can break down these barriers, to look at how we can make our competitive position together stronger. And in times of crisis, to create jobs and economic growth without government investment is really quite a great opportunity. And the other reason is that the world is changing quite rapidly. It's not like we can just go on and pretend that there's not Asian economies that are increasingly competing for the economic influence that we would like to keep. So that's another reason why we want to be able to set standards for electric cars, for example, together instead of having to follow the standards that other economies may set for us. If you look at a process in the European Parliament, it's never easy to get a majority. Every majority has to be fought, and it's good. There's many voices and we have to listen to them. But when you look at the opportunities of this trade and investment partnership, they are quite strong. And I think that we can come to a win-win situation. We shouldn't approach this as a confrontation, as a zero-sum game, but really seek for a procedure and an end result where, on the one hand, our high standards are protection of fundamental rights, of environmental standards, of consumer rights are protected and safeguarded. But on the other hand, the bureaucratic burden, the procedures that our people have to go through, that they can be limited or even removed where possible, so that growth and jobs are created. And I think that's important for all Europeans and actually also for all Americans. So I'm hoping for a win-win. For the ALDE group, it's very important that people are involved with the process of negotiating this trade and investment partnership with the United States, and that it's not an agreement which in the end is seen as a benefit for shareholders, where in boardrooms there are celebrations, or where in spreadsheets it all looks very nice. We should make sure that this is an agreement by people and for people. And that's why I'm inviting, through seminars and online on the internet, everyone to comment and to ask questions, and I'm sharing as much information as possible. But the European Commission should play its role too. In order to facilitate trust in the process, they have to ensure maximum transparency and involvement by all stakeholders. And I can only say that they've learned from ACTA, where a large protest movement also reached the European Parliament, and where the European Parliament showed the Commission that our position matters and can have a decisive impact. And so I'm hoping that the Commission has learned and that we can work together, each playing our role, but in a transparent way and in a trusted way by our citizens, to ensure that all the different issues, whether it's agriculture or intellectual property rights or public procurement or other issues where people have questions or maybe even concerns, can be dealt with in an adequate manner.